Have you ever stumbled across an image that stopped you in your tracks? A deity and consort locked in a serene, mystical embrace? Maybe in a movie, a book, or a viral post? That's Yab-Yum, a sacred practice from Tibetan Tantric Buddhism, often shrouded in mystery and allure. But what's the truth behind its exotic portrayals? Why does Hollywood turn this profound ritual into a tantalizing enigma? If you're new to Buddhism, you might wonder, is Yab-Yum a path to enlightenment or just a cinematic fantasy? In this video, we'll unravel the secrets of Yab-Yum, separating fact from fiction, and reveal how its true power can spark your spiritual journey. Get ready for a mind-opening dive that'll leave you curious for more. Stick with us to the end and let us know in the comments. What's your take on Yab-Yum's mystique? Hit that subscribe button and let's explore this together. Veil of Enchantment. Yab-Yum in the mirror of media. In the flickering glow of a cinema screen or the dog-eared pages of a novel, the ancient practice of Yab-Yum, a sacred rite from Tibetan Tantric Buddhism, often emerges as a shimmering enigma, cloaked in mystery and ripe for misunderstanding. The very name, Yab-Yum, meaning father-mother in Tibetan, carries a weight that feels both intimate and cosmic, a whisper of unity that pulls you closer, urging you to unravel its secrets. You might have seen it depicted in a Hollywood blockbuster, where a dimly lit temple pulses with incense and forbidden allure, or in a best-selling novel where characters chase enlightenment through exotic rituals. But what is the truth behind these portrayals? Why do these images linger in your mind, tugging at your curiosity, making you wonder what lies beneath the surface? Let's embark on a journey to peel back the layers of Yab-Yum in popular culture, to discern where fiction ends and sacred reality begins. A journey that promises to spark your imagination and hold you captive until the final word. Picture a scene. A movie set in the Himalayas, where a rugged adventurer stumbles into a hidden monastery. The camera pans to a statue of a deity locked in embrace with his consort, their forms intertwined in serene ecstasy. The music swells and the protagonist's eyes widen, as if beholding a secret too profound for words. This is Yab-Yum, as the West often sees it, a symbol of mystical union, charged with sensuality, a shortcut to spiritual awakening. Your pulse quickens as the scene unfolds, because there's something undeniably magnetic about this image. It's no accident. The human brain craves stories of connection, of transcendence, and popular media knows exactly how to deliver that hit of dopamine, making you lean forward, eager for more. But here's the twist. What you're seeing is often a shadow of the real practice, a tantalizing distortion crafted to keep you hooked. The truth of Yab-Yum is far richer, far more intricate, and it beckons us to dive deeper. In Tibetan Tantric Buddhism, Yab-Yum is not a spectacle for the silver screen, but a profound meditative practice, a sacred art of embodying opposites, male and female, wisdom and compassion, form and emptiness in perfect harmony. Imagine a practitioner seated in meditation, visualizing themselves as a deity in union with their consort, not as a physical act, but as a dance of energies within the mind. This is no mere fantasy. It's a disciplined path to dissolve the ego, to awaken the mind to its boundless potential. The statue you saw in that movie? It's not a prop for exotic allure, but a visual teaching, a reminder that enlightenment arises from the union of dualities. Yet, in popular culture, this subtlety is often lost. The camera lingers on the embrace. The novel dwells on the erotic, and suddenly, Yab-Yum becomes a shorthand for forbidden desire or spiritual decadence. You feel that pull, don't you? The intrigue of something sacred yet taboo. It's designed to keep you glued to the story, to make you crave the next scene, the next chapter. Consider a film like The Shadow of the Lotus, a fictional blockbuster where a Western journalist, Claire, ventures into a Tibetan monastery seeking a lost manuscript. She encounters a lama who speaks of Yab-Yum as the ultimate key to liberation, and the camera cuts to a ritual where monks chant in a candlelit hall, a statue of a deity and consort gleaming in the background. The scene is electric, charged with mystery, and Claire's fascination mirrors your own. You're drawn in, wondering what this practice could unlock. But the film simplifies it, reducing Yab-Yum to a plot device, a secret that promises power or passion. The reality is less cinematic but infinitely more compelling. In true Tantric practice, Yab-Yum requires years of preparation, meditation, ethical discipline, and guidance from a qualified teacher. It's not a quick fix for enlightenment, but a slow, transformative journey. Yet the film's version is irresistible, isn't it? It taps into that primal human desire for instant transcendence, keeping you watching, yearning for Claire to uncover the truth. Now, let's pause and reflect. Why does this gap between fiction and reality matter? Because the way Yab-Yum is portrayed shapes how we perceive not just a practice, but an entire spiritual tradition. In books like The Tantric Flame, a novel about a modern seeker named Ethan who travels to India to study with a rogue guru, Yab-Yum is depicted as a shortcut to cosmic bliss, often with a heavy dose of sensuality. Ethan's journey is thrilling. His encounters with the guru's teachings feel like a roller coaster of revelation, each page pulling you along with him. The dopamine rush of his discoveries keeps you turning pages late into the night. But the novel glosses over the rigorous discipline of Tantra, presenting Yab-Yum as an act of physical union rather than a meditative visualization. This distortion isn't just artistic license. It risks trivializing a practice that, in its true form, demands profound commitment. And yet, you can't look away, can you? The story's allure is too strong, the promise of hidden wisdom too enticing. Let's shift to another angle, the role of media in shaping our spiritual imagination. In a TV series like Path to Nirvana, a fictional drama about a group of Westerners exploring Tibetan Buddhism, Yab-Yum appears as a climactic ritual, shrouded in secrecy and performed by an enigmatic monk named Tenzin. The episode builds tension masterfully. You're on the edge of your seat as Tenzin explains the practice to his skeptical students, his words dripping with mystique. The show's creators know exactly what they're doing. They're crafting a narrative that feels urgent, transformative, and just out of reach, making you desperate to know more. But the real Yab-Yum is not a performance. It's an inner alchemy, a practice where the practitioner visualizes the union of wisdom, the feminine, and compassion, the masculine, to transcend dualistic thinking. The show's version, while captivating, strips away this depth, leaving you with a glossy but incomplete picture. And yet, that gloss is what keeps you binge-watching, chasing the next revelation. What's fascinating is how these portrayals tap into universal human longings. Connection, transcendence, the merging of opposites. You feel it, don't you? That spark when a story hints at something bigger, something that could shift your understanding of the world. In Tibetan Buddhism, Yab-Yum is exactly that, a path to realizing the non-dual nature of reality. But popular culture often reduces it to a symbol of exotic spirituality or forbidden love, because that's what sells tickets, books, and streaming subscriptions. The irony is that the true practice is far more radical than any fiction. It asks you to confront your own mind, to dissolve the boundaries between self and other, to awaken to a reality where all opposites are one. That's the secret Hollywood can't quite capture, but it's also why you're still here, reading, wanting to know more. As we peel back these layers, you might wonder, why Why do filmmakers and authors keep returning to Yab-Yum? The answer lies in its visual and emotional power. A statue of a deity in Yab-Yum, say Shenrazig, in union with his consort Tara, is arresting. A perfect blend of serenity and intensity. It's no wonder directors love it. It's a visual that demands attention, that makes your heart race just a little. In a graphic novel like The Saffron Veil, the artist renders Yab-Yum statues in vivid detail, their golden forms glowing against a backdrop of snowy peaks. The protagonist, a young monk named Dorje, grapples with the meaning of these images, and his quest pulls you in, panel after panel. The dopamine hit comes not just from the art, but from Dorje's journey, his struggle to reconcile the sacred with the human. Yet the graphic novel, like so many others, leans into the aesthetic over the substance, leaving you enchanted but not enlightened. Here's where the real magic lies. The truth of Yab-Yum is not in its image, but in its purpose. In Tibetan Tantra, it's a practice reserved for advanced practitioners, those who have mastered the foundations of compassion, wisdom, and ethical conduct. It's not about physical union, but about embodying the union of all dualities within oneself. Imagine sitting in meditation, visualizing yourself as a deity, your mind merging with the infinite. It's a process that requires patience, discipline, and a teacher's guidance, not the kind of thing you can cram into a 2-hour movie or a 300-page novel. But popular culture thrives on immediacy, on the promise of quick transformation, and that's why it reimagines Yab-Yum as a mystical shortcut. You feel that pull, don't you? The idea that enlightenment could be just one ritual, one secret away. It's what keeps you watching, reading, scrolling. And yet, there's a beauty in this tension between fiction and reality. Popular culture, for all its flaws, introduces Yab-Yum to those who might never encounter it otherwise. That movie scene, that novel's chapter, that TV episode, they plant a seed, a spark of curiosity that could lead you to the real teachings. You're still here after all, drawn in by the promise of understanding something profound. The challenge is to move beyond the surface, to seek out the authentic practice behind the glamour. In Tibetan Buddhism, Yab-Yum is a reminder that all beings have the potential for awakening, that the union of wisdom and compassion is already within you. It's not a secret locked in a monastery. It's a truth waiting to be realized, and that truth, once glimpsed, is more compelling than any blockbuster, more gripping than any novel. You want to know how this journey continues, don't you? The path is just beginning, and the next step promises even deeper revelations, shadows of the sacred, the global echoes of Yab-Yum, the allure of Yab-Yum, that sacred dance of unity from Tibetan Tantric Buddhism lingers in your mind, doesn't it? It's no surprise. There's something magnetic about a practice that promises to weave together the threads of existence, to fuse opposites into a single, radiant truth. Popular culture has seized this image, splashing it across screens and pages. But as we've seen, it often trades depth for dazzle, leaving you captivated yet craving more. You're still here, drawn by that spark of curiosity, that whisper of something profound just out of reach. Now, let's dive deeper into how these portrayals ripple outward, shaping the world's view of Tibetan Buddhism and pulling you along with their irresistible momentum. The journey isn't over. There's a pulse to this story, a rhythm that keeps you tethered, eager to uncover what lies beneath the next layer. Imagine flipping through a glossy magazine, stumbling upon an article about a celebrity's spiritual retreat in the Himalayas. The photos are breathtaking. Prayer flags fluttering against snowy peaks, a golden Yab-Yum statue gleaming in a candlelit shrine. The headline screams, "Unlocking Bliss, the Secret of Tantric Union," and your eyes linger, don't they? There's a rush, a flicker of excitement, as if this practice could hold the key to something transformative. The article describes Yab-Yum as a mystical embrace of love and enlightenment, quoting a self-styled guru who promises instant awakening. Your brain lights up, dopamine at work, because who doesn't want a shortcut to bliss? But here's the catch. This polished portrayal is a mirage, a shimmering distortion that hooks you with its promise but leaves the true essence of Yab-Yum in the shadows. The real practice, as we've glimpsed, is a disciplined meditation, a visualization of divine union that demands years of preparation, not a weekend retreat. Yet the magazine's glossy allure keeps you reading, doesn't it? It's designed to make you feel you're one step away from a revelation. Let's step into another scene, this time from a documentary streaming on a platform like Netflix, titled Mystics of the East. The camera sweeps over a Tibetan monastery, zooming in on a lama named Kelsang, who speaks softly about Yab-Yum as the heart of Tantric wisdom. The visuals are hypnotic, monks chanting, a Yab-Yum thanka painting glowing with intricate detail. And you're drawn in, your heart beating a little faster, as Kelsang's words hint at a truth beyond the ordinary. The documentary is careful, more respectful than most, but even here, the practice is framed for drama, edited to fit a 60-minute runtime. Yab-Yum becomes a symbol of exotic spirituality, a puzzle for the Western mind to unravel. The truth, it's a practice rooted in the profound understanding that wisdom, the feminine, and compassion, the masculine, are not separate but one, realized through rigorous meditation. The documentary's beauty pulls you in, but its simplifications leave you wanting more, don't they? You're hooked, chasing the next frame, the next insight. This pattern repeats across media, from novels to social media posts. Take The Lotus Path, a fictional bestseller where a young woman named Maya, disillusioned with modern life, joins a tantric community in Nepal. The author paints Yab-Yum as a ritual of ecstatic union, with Maya and her teacher, a charismatic monk named Rinchen, exploring its sacred mysteries under starlit skies. The prose is intoxicating. Each sentence drips with promise, making your pulse quicken as Maya's journey unfolds. You turn the pages, caught in the thrill of her transformation, but the book sidesteps the reality. Yab-Yum is not a romantic escape, but a meditative discipline, often solitary, always guided by strict ethical boundaries. The novel's allure lies in its ability to tap your deepest desires, for connection, for meaning, while glossing over the hard work of true tantric practice. You can't put it down, can you? That's the power of a well-crafted story, keeping you tethered to Maya's quest, even as it drifts from the truth. Why does this matter? Because these portrayals don't just entertain. They shape perceptions, coloring how the world sees Tibetan Buddhism. In a viral X post, a travel influencer shares a photo of a Yab-Yum statue, captioning it, "Found the secret to ultimate harmony in Bhutan." Tantra, enlightenment. The post racks up thousands of likes, and you feel that tug, that urge to double tap, because the image is stunning, the promise intoxicating. But this snapshot reduces a complex practice to a hashtag, stripping away its spiritual weight. In reality, Yab-Yum is part of a vast system of tantric teachings, requiring devotion, study, and a teacher's guidance. The influencer's post doesn't mention the years of ethical training or the meditative focus needed to approach it. Yet, you scroll on, don't you? The next post, the next image, keeps you hooked, chasing that fleeting rush of discovery. This reshaping of Yab-Yum has consequences. It creates a feedback loop where the public craves the exotic, the sensual, the immediate, qualities that media eagerly amplifies. In a TV movie, The Monk's Secret, a fictional lama named Tashi introduces a Western couple to Yab-Yum as a path to divine love, complete with dreamy montages of candlelit rituals. The couple's transformation is instant, their problems solved by a single night of Tantric practice. You're glued to the screen, aren't you? The story's emotional arc is engineered to keep you there, your brain buzzing with the promise of quick fixes. But real Tantric Buddhism is not a rom-com resolution. Yab-Yum is a tool for dissolving the ego, for realizing the non-dual nature of reality, not a magic bullet for relationship woes. The gap between this fiction and reality is vast, yet the movie's charm is undeniable, pulling you deeper into its narrative spell. Now, let's consider the global impact. When Yab-Yum is portrayed as a symbol of exotic allure, it risks turning Tibetan Buddhism into a commodity, a spiritual brand for Western consumption. In a podcast like Soul Seekers, a host interviews a Tantric expert who describes Yab-Yum as the ultimate fusion of love and spirit. The episode is gripping, with sound effects of Tibetan bells and a narrative that feels like a personal invitation to transcendence. You listen, captivated, as the expert spins a tale of instant enlightenment. But this framing often ignores the cultural context. Centuries of Tibetan tradition, the role of lineage, the necessity of initiation. The podcast's allure lies in its accessibility, its promise that you, too, can tap into this ancient wisdom. And yet, it leaves out the hard truth. Yab-Yum is not a standalone practice, but part of a lifelong path. You're still listening, though, aren't you? The story's pull is too strong, its rhythm too compelling to pause. This commodification isn't just a Western phenomenon. Even in Asia, where Buddhism thrives, pop culture can distort Yab-Yum. In a Bollywood film, Flame of the East, a dancer named Priya discovers a tantric text that leads her to a hidden temple where Yab-Yum is depicted as a dance of divine lovers. The choreography is mesmerizing, the music electric, and you're swept away by Priya's journey, your heart racing as she embraces her destiny. But the film's version of Yab-Yum is pure spectacle, far removed from the meditative discipline it represents. This distortion can mislead even those within Buddhist cultures, creating a glossy veneer that obscures the practice's depth. Yet the film's energy keeps you watching, doesn't it? It's crafted to make you feel alive, to make you crave the next scene. So where does this leave us? Caught in a dance between fascination and truth, between the stories that captivate us and the reality they obscure. Yab-Yum, in its true form, is a beacon, a reminder that enlightenment lies in uniting wisdom and compassion within ourselves. Popular culture, for all its flaws, can ignite that spark, that hunger to explore deeper. You feel it now, don't you? That urge to know more, to peel back another layer. The real Yab-Yum is not a secret locked in a temple or a hashtag on your feed. It's a practice that invites you to look within, to dissolve the illusions that keep you separate from the infinite. And that invitation is more thrilling than any movie, more gripping than any novel. You're not ready to stop here, are you? The journey continues, and the next step promises to reveal how Yab-Yum's true power can transform not just stories but lives, awakening the infinite, the true heart of Yab-Yum. You've been drawn this far, haven't you? That magnetic pull of Yab-Yum, the sacred tantric practice of Tibetan Buddhism, has kept you tethered, your curiosity burning brighter with each revelation. The way popular culture paints it, through flickering movie scenes, inked pages of novels, or viral posts on X, has a way of sinking its hooks into you, making your pulse quicken with the promise of something transformative. Yet, as we've unraveled, these portrayals often trade the profound for the provocative, leaving you tantalized but not truly satisfied. Now, as we step into the final stretch of this journey, the real essence of Yab-Yum comes into focus. A practice not just of statues or stories, but of awakening the infinite within you. You're not ready to turn away, are you? There's a rhythm to this exploration, a cadence that urges you to stay, to discover how Yab-Yum's truth transcends the distortions and lights a path to something far greater. Let's linger for a moment on that feeling. The rush when you encounter Yab-Yum in a blockbuster like The Hidden Mandala. In this fictional film, a scholar named Elena uncovers a tantric text describing Yab-Yum as the union that unlocks the cosmos. The camera swirls around a golden statue of a deity and consort, their embrace radiating otherworldly light, and you're spellbound, your heart racing as Elena deciphers its meaning. The scene is crafted to hit every dopamine receptor, making you lean closer, craving the next plot twist. But what the film doesn't show is the quiet, disciplined reality of Yab-Yum, a meditative practice where the practitioner visualizes themselves as a deity in union, not to chase ecstasy but to dissolve the illusion of separateness. This truth is less flashy but infinitely more compelling, because it's not about spectacle, it's about you, about the potential already within your mind. You feel that pull, don't you? The urge to know how this practice could shift your own perspective, to see where this path leads. Now, imagine a different scene, one not scripted for Hollywood but lived in the heart of Tibetan Buddhist practice. A monk named Lobsang sits in a small meditation cell, his breath steady, his mind focused. He visualizes himself as Shenrezig, the deity of compassion, in union with Tara, the embodiment of wisdom. There's no incense-heavy drama, no cinematic swell of music, just the quiet intensity of inner transformation. Through Yab-Yum, Lobsang isn't seeking sensual bliss, but the realization that all dualities, male and female, self and other, are one in the vast expanse of enlightened awareness. This is the practice's true power, and it's what popular culture so often misses. Yet, those distorted images in films and books have sparked something in you, haven't they? They've brought you here, to this moment, where the real Yab-Yum begins to shimmer into view, inviting you to explore its depth. Why does this practice endure, despite the misrepresentations? Because at its core, Yab-Yum speaks to a universal human longing, to connect, to transcend, to become whole. In a graphic novel like The Eternal Flame, a young artist named Sering grapples with his spiritual heritage, sketching Yab-Yum deities in vibrant ink, each panel pulsing with emotion. His journey is gripping. You turn the pages, caught in his quest to understand the sacred union, your own curiosity mirrored in his. The novel captures the aesthetic beauty of Yab-Yum, but skims its spiritual weight, presenting it as a symbol of artistic inspiration rather than a rigorous meditative path. Yet, Sering's story resonates because it taps into that same longing you feel, a desire to bridge the gap between the ordinary and the divine. The dopamine hit of his narrative keeps you hooked, but the real Yab-Yum offers something deeper, a way to live that longing, to embody it. This brings us to a crucial question. How can we move beyond the distortions to touch the authentic practice? It starts with understanding that Yab-Yum is not a standalone ritual, but part of a vast tapestry of Tantric Buddhism. In a podcast episode of Beyond the Veil, a fictional series where a Western seeker named Rachel interviews a Tibetan Lama named Yeshe, Yab-Yum is described as the heart of Tantric alchemy. The episode is mesmerizing, with Yeshe's voice weaving a spell that makes you feel you're on the cusp of enlightenment. You listen, earbuds in, as the world fades away, each word pulling you deeper. But the podcast simplifies the practice, framing it as a mystical key rather than a disciplined process requiring ethical training, meditation, and a qualified teacher. The real Yab-Yum is not a soundbite. It's a commitment to transforming your mind, to seeing reality as it truly is. And yet, Rachel's journey keeps you listening, doesn't it? It's a bridge, a spark that could lead you to the authentic teachings. The beauty of Yab-Yum lies in its invitation to see yourself as already whole, already divine. In Tibetan Tantra, the practitioner visualizes the union of wisdom and compassion not as an external act, but as an inner awakening. This is what makes the practice so radical. It's not about chasing an experience, but about realizing what's already true. Popular culture, with its flair for drama, often misses this, but it also plants seeds. That movie you watched, that novel you couldn't put down, that ex-post you scrolled past, they've all brought you here to this moment of clarity. You feel it, don't you? That quiet thrill of recognizing something profound, something that could change how you see the world. In a TV series like The Saffron Road, a monk named Jigme guides a group of travelers through a tantric ritual, with Yab-Yum as the centerpiece. The episode is electric, each frame crafted to keep you glued to the screen, but it glosses over the years of preparation Jigme would need in real life. Yet, the story's power lies in its ability to make you wonder, what would it mean to truly embody this practice? As we near the end of this journey, let's reflect on why Yab-Yum's true essence matters. In a world saturated with quick fixes and instant gratification, the practice offers a counterpoint, a slow, deliberate path to awakening. It's not the exotic ritual of a Hollywood set or the romantic escape of a novel's climax. It's a call to look within, to unite the wisdom and compassion already present in your mind. This is what makes Yab-Yum enduring, what makes it more gripping than any fiction. You've felt that pull throughout this exploration, haven't you? The way each paragraph draws you deeper, each insight sparking a new question. Popular culture may distort Yab-Yum, but it also opens a door, inviting you to step through and seek the real teachings. So, where does this leave you? Standing at a crossroads, with one foot in the world of stories and the other in the realm of truth. The Yab-Yum of movies and books is a shadow, but it's a shadow that points to something real, a practice that can transform not just how you see the world, but how you live in it. In Tibetan Buddhism, Yab-Yum is a reminder that enlightenment is not out there, in a temple or a text, but within you, waiting to be realized. That realization is the ultimate dopamine hit, the kind no blockbuster can match. You've followed this thread to its end, but the journey doesn't stop here. The real Yab-Yum beckons, a path of discipline, wisdom, and compassion that promises not just a story, but a life transformed. And that, more than any movie or novel, is worth staying for.